guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is another weight loss Q&A time. This video was actually so requested by you guys. It's 9 o'clock at night and I'm sitting here. 24 hours ago I said send in your questions on Snapchat and Facebook and Instagram. Well, I cannot even keep up. So that is what I'm going to be answering, all your questions on weight loss motivation. Whatever you guys have asked me, I haven't even looked, so I'm super excited to see them. You guys always ask me questions and I feel so bad because I get DMs and emails and everything every day, but I am just like one regular person, so I never have time to go through and answer every single DM and email I get. And I know you guys get frustrated with me, but that's why I like to do these Q&A, so that when every so often you guys can get your questions in, and now is the time. So I apologize if I don't get to your question. I know I'm gonna have a lot, so question time. Let's do this. This is actually the first time I've opened questions up to Snapchat, fam. So let's go ahead and look at Snapchat questions first. Oh, I'm super excited. I have a video.
Hey gorgeous, my question for you is, what can I do to tone up my stomach? I've lost over 50 pounds and I had a kid, so love you.
That is so cool. I love getting these video messages. First of all, congratulations, A, on having a child, and B, on losing 50 pounds. That is amazing. For stomach toning, if you still have fat to lose, I would recommend doing as much high intensity interval training as you can. There are things that you can do at home like jacks, V-sits, crunches. I would do those religiously every night. I still do before bed. I will link to that video below because I've shown the ab exercises I do, and that just tightens everything up underneath. So even if your stomach isn't at the exact flatness that you want, because everything is tight underneath, it's gonna look flatter than it is, if that makes sense. Ooh, I have another video one.
Hey Amy, so everyone around me is in a weight loss process and it makes it really hard to see all the foods that they're eating. How do we not give in to temptation?
Girl, your makeup is on fleek. Like, everyone is so gorgeous. I have the prettiest, most gorgeous subscribers, honestly. Rude, don't do that. How can you not give in to temptation when everyone else around you? If you are someone that doesn't need to eat out all the time, don't. B, I would always meal prep, so I would have all my snacks and all my meals and things like that to bring with me. I would also encourage you to tell your friends and your family, and those who are really close to you, who you feel comfortable to, just those in your circle, what you are trying to do. I think the more vocal you are about it, the more accountable you have to be. I don't know, I'm someone who gets kind of embarrassed if I'm not following through on what I've said I'm gonna do, so being accountable is another way. Let them know and they should be supportive and encourage you. So Roxy B580 said, "Hi Amy, I recently got serious about my weight loss journey and I wanted to know, how did you keep from feeling super hungry all the time?" To keep from feeling super hungry all the time, I am a huge snacker. I snack like it's my religion. I literally snack 3 to 4 times a day. As long as you're snacking on healthy, clean foods, it is not a problem. I snack all the time on fruit, veggies, nuts, things like that. Christina Avery says, "What was the hardest part of your weight loss journey?" The hardest part for me was just starting. I was somebody who was in a lot of denial. I denied that I needed to lose the weight for so long. I'm probably cutting out bread because I was someone who had bread all the time. This is from Umad No, I'm good. She says, "How can you quickly lose weight? What is your method of eating?" My method of eating is everything in moderation. I try to eat 80-20. So I'm healthy 80% of the time, 20% of the time I'm not. And there is no quick way to lose weight. I tell you guys this all the time. You literally have to put in the sweat, the blood, the tears, the months. Nadia Ha01, my sister's name is Nadia, my second sister, says, "When you first started, did you ever have cheat meals other than your Friday pizza? If so, were they days or just meals, and how often?" So throughout my weight loss journey, I would allow myself a cheat meal once per week. I would only go once per week. Some people make it an entire cheat day. I just did cheat meal because a meal suffices for me. And my Friday pizza night does not count as a cheat meal because it actually fits my macros. It's a healthier version of pizza, so that's just something I do anyways. Desi Love 29 says, "When things got hard and you felt like quitting, what did you do to push yourself to keep going?" That is actually a really good question. When I would be running on the treadmill, sometimes I would literally want to give up, especially at first, because it was just really hard for me. I was not someone that worked out, and so for me, I just wanted to drop off that thing. I would literally tell myself in my head, I would be like, "You got yourself this way. It is only gonna take 12 months for you to see a difference and for you to look a lot better. You got yourself this way, girl. It's time for you to get yourself out of it." And that is something that really motivated me. I used to give myself a lot of tough love. If I wanted to quit, in my head, I would kind of beat myself up. Lamarck says, "Have you ever had a setback and gained a few pounds from it? And how often do you have protein bars?" Protein bars, not that much, maybe once or twice a week if I'm like on the go and I've had to go to the gym and I need a quick recovery. I don't have them that much. And have I had a setback? Yes, I did. I had a setback over Christmas. Was it last year or the year before? I indulged a little too much at Christmas and I stopped my workout regime. I didn't get back into it as quickly as possible, and I gained, I think it was 4 pounds, which is not very much. I know you're like, girl, please, like, that is first world problems. How did I deal with it? I didn't beat myself up about it, because did I regret going ham at Christmas? Hell no. I don't think you should ever feel guilty or regret food. Just pick yourself back up and get back into your routine. That is the best way to deal with a setback. Honestly, you cannot change the past. You can't out exercise if you've had a binge day. I'm gonna just be honest, because say if you consume 1,000 calories, it takes so much work to exercise 1,000 calories. So don't get into the mindset that if you binge or slip up or set back that you have to go be a cardio bunny and burn all that off and make up for it. No way. If you have a setback, my thing is just start back doing what you're supposed to do. Susanna Varghese says, how long did it take you to reach your maintenance weight? It took me 1.5 to 2 years to reach my full maintenance weight. Cookie says, how did you keep your skin from sagging? My biggest thing is, I think it comes down to genetics from what I've read. If you're gonna have loose skin, it really depends on skin elasticity, and that is something you get from genetics. But I also think if you lose the weight slowly and healthily, that decreases your chances of getting loose skin, or the amount of loose skin that you're going to get. If you do any fad diets or anything to lose the weight really fast and really quickly, your body can't have the chance to snap back as you're losing the weight, because your fat's just going and your skin's like, hey, I have nothing to hold anymore. So it cannot have the kind of recovery period in order to give itself a chance to snap back as much as it can. Law says, what had to change in your life for you to be in the right frame of mind to lose weight? I know weight loss is a mental game, so what was your mind frame? This is a great question. I have touched on it before, but I definitely want to answer it again, because you cannot lose weight for anyone but yourself. What really had made it click for me was I went to a doctor's physical. I've told this story, and you have to weigh yourself, and whenever the nurse kind of pointed to like where your scale reading is, it said 212.5 pounds, and I was like, that kind of really put everything into perspective to me, because I knew I was bigger, don't get me wrong, but I just didn't think I was that big. But seeing that number there was like a physical wake-up call and representation to me that, wow, I should not be 200 pounds. I'm only 5'6", so I know that's not what I'm supposed to be. I know no one in my family is like that. I really need to do something, because it is not healthy, and I don't want to be this way, because I was a young girl. Emanique says, at what age did you start to gain weight? That is another really good question, because I didn't just gain the weight like in 1 year. I think it kind of crept on starting when I left high school. I know I put on weight like my first year of university, because I was living in residence and I was eating everything in sight because we had access to the food court. Maybe I put on like 10-20 pounds at that time, and since then it just kind of spiraled. Okay, I'm heading over to Instagram. I have a ton of comments here. Holy crap. I see one here which has in all cap locks from M Run. Please answer. I've been going crazy. When you use MyFitnessPal, it marks down the amount of sugar you have. Problem is, I love eating fruits. Were you strict when the app said that you reached your sugar limit? No, fruit has a lot of sugar, but it's natural sugar, and I never limited my intake of fruit. Even to this day, I don't limit my intake of fruit. Okay, April Lambie says, when did you realize that you needed to tone your body instead of just losing? That was when I had just kind of stopped losing weight. I had gotten to a point where I looked in the mirror and I felt great and I liked the way I looked, but I would be more happy if I toned up and got some muscle, because I thought I would look even better, because I looked kind of skinny fat because I didn't have any muscle. I kind of lost all the weight and then started toning. She also says, what did you do when you hit your plateau? I've lost 20 and I need to lose 20 more. Girl, congratulations on losing weight so far. For plateaus, my biggest thing is switch it up or have a cheat meal. I know it sounds counterproductive, but sometimes when you've been doing the same exact routine and eating habits for too long, your body gets used to it and it knows what's coming. So you need to kind of shake up what you're doing. Babe Match On has a really good question. She says, have you ever felt yourself slipping into eating disorder tendencies? I recently lost 83 pounds. Oh my god, that's amazing. You're like me. So I didn't have eating disorder tendencies about still wanting to be smaller, but I will talk about sometimes, even now to this very day, I have to be mindful, because I can look in the mirror and I can see what isn't the case, if that makes sense. Sometimes I feel like I look in the mirror and I'm looking big to myself. Not big like I used to look, like I don't feel like I look 212 pounds, but I think that I've like either put on weight or I'm looking dumpy. I'm just not looking my best, and I know that's a bad habit, but taking a picture of myself lets me see exactly how I look. The mirror really plays tricks on you, and so I don't think that's considered an eating disorder, but I know that's not 100% healthy. It's something I work on. I'm a lot better now than I was before when I was just in maintenance mode. I want to get to the point where I don't think about it at all, because I don't think it's healthy to think about that. Amethyst Gold says, did any of your friends or family complain that you were getting too skinny while you were working towards your weight loss goal? How do you stay motivated when it seems like everyone around you is discouraging you? That's another good question that's never been asked. Yes, actually, there was a point last year where my parents said I was getting too skinny and that my wrists were getting too skinny because you can like put your fingers around and connect them, which I guess as an adult they don't think you should be able to do. Honestly, you cannot let the opinions of others discourage you. For me, it was more annoying rather than discouraging, because as long as you know what you're doing is right, if you're working out and you're eating healthy, you're not eating below 1,200 calories, you're not eating starvation calories, as long as you know that you are healthily losing the weight and what you're doing is right, don't worry about it at all. People are just not used to seeing you in this new frame of life. Bailey's page says, what else can a person do besides hit on the treadmill? I have really bad ankles and knees, and running or on the treadmill outside makes them swell. And she says, you look amazing. Your transformation is spectacular. Thank you. Other than that, I would encourage, if you can't do it on the treadmill, go to the elliptical. You can do it on the elliptical too, or go on something less high impact. I don't know if you can use the bike, the stationary bike. You can also do high intensity interval training there, or even better, you can do it on the rowing machine, which is just your arms. It doesn't really take too much of your legs. D_Optimist says, how do you get back on track after vacation? That is the most difficult for me. That is actually one of the most difficult things for me too, after a vacation, after indulging, getting back on the wagon, because who wants to go back if you've been going ham like I did in Florida? But you just have to do it. But normally after a vacation, I like to go cold turkey. I like to just switch back into my normal eating way straight away. I don't like to kind of phase my way out. And what I did was, when I started coming home from vacation, I kept a food journal again, and I logged everything that I was eating, everything that went in my mouth. I would write it down. Nurse_Monica says, have you considered trying Weight Watchers, and what have you heard of it? If you really can't lose weight on your own and you really need like that buddy system or that accountability, because I know they have meetings too, then go for it. But I think you should always try doing it by yourself. I don't think you have to pay anyone, any personal trainer, any Weight Watchers in order to lose weight. Megan222 says, macros. How do you calculate them? I actually have a whole video on that where I look really bad because I do not know what I was thinking with my makeup that day. Like, I have this purple in a corner. I'm going to link it on this video. Click right here and I tell you how I calculated my macros. It's a simple formula. I'm actually probably going to do a whole new video on macros, and I tell you what mine were, and you'll find that so helpful. She also says, if you don't mind, how much do you currently weigh and what is your size of pants? I had to weigh myself this morning because I knew you guys were going to ask this, and I weigh 127.5 right now. My size of pants is either a 2 or a 3 depending. Nadine Shamila says, how did you count calories when you were making a recipe? Did you have to measure and weigh everything and work out the calories for that particular meal? Pretty much, yes. That's what I would do. I know it sounds really lame, kind of a nightmare at first, but you do definitely get used to it. You're Killing Me Small says, how's your ebook coming along? Are you still going to put it out so I can snatch it? Yes, girl, it is coming. I'm starting to figure out the photography and everything for that, so hopefully soon. I don't want to put a date on it because every time I put a date on it, it's been pushed back due to other things, so just know that it is coming. Kira Fandy says, what are the biggest changes that you've noticed about your body since losing weight? So the biggest changes for me, definitely that I could see, is my hands lost a lot of weight, my wrists, definitely in my face. My boobs, I literally have none of those anymore. They were pretty big before and I really liked them, and I was like, if I can keep these, I'll be set. I also lost shoe sizes as well. Oh, and my stomach is definitely a very big change, because looking at the before and after pictures, that is one of the biggest things and one of the most exciting things for me. She says, do people treat you differently? No, not really. Like, my friends and family have all just been so supportive throughout the journey, so no one has treated me any differently. Shannon Mowry says, you always say you wish you would have started weight training earlier. When do you think that should have been? Is there a certain week or month or a number of pounds lost? No, there isn't a certain number of pounds lost per se, but I would say if I could quantify it, that it would be maybe after I had lost the first 60 pounds, when I still had fat to lose, but it would have helped me to tone up everything underneath and start weight training already, because basically the more muscle there is underneath, the better you look in the first place. Someone said, what about dating? Do men treat you differently? Do you go on more dates now? Yes, definitely, but just because I think they're very visual creatures anyway, I definitely get more attention that way. Sonia X says, how did you measure your protein as a macro when you're trying to build muscle? To build muscle, I always wanted to make sure that I was getting at least 100 grams of protein in a day. Generally over 100, but the minimum was 100, and I would eat to that. So yeah, guys, those are all the questions today that I'm going to be able to ask, because I see my camera flashing at me and it's going to die. Thank you guys so much for asking so so many questions, and thank you for asking so many new questions too, because I got a bunch of really good ones I haven't had before. I will definitely do these again if you guys want. Just let me know in the comments below if you like the style of video and would like another one, if your question wasn't answered. And check out the description bar, because I will also put my playlist where I have all my videos below on this topic, which you guys will probably find helpful. And thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoyed doing this one. Bye.